Coming back out in front with it is Kachuk, who scores!
Welcome back to another episode of the Radtrick Report presented to you by Heat versus the World. Thank you, as always, to our producer Joel and everyone else part of Heat versus the World. Justin, we're back again in a lot more somber of a tone this week. Last week, we had 3 wins to go over, and then this week we got 3 losses to go over. So we're flipping the script in the worst ways possible.
Man, I'm pretty sure we said something earlier in the season about this team being a roller coaster. Man, so we were, just absolutely riding high, 3-game streak. Now we're on the downside of the hill, and if they're not careful, they're gonna fly off the rails at this point. 3 losses, dude, not great. One of the losses came as we were filming last episode, so I guess we could start there.
Yeah, the Utah game. I mean, we already pretty much went over a lot of it already in the last game. So I guess in the third period to kind of go over, but I mean, we witnessed a lot of the goals early on. It was 2-2 heading into the second, and then it just kind of got low event. The Panthers had plenty of chances in that third period to take advantage, and they couldn't.
They went 0 for 4 on the power play that night, man. That's just not going to win you games. And the fact that despite the injuries, just the level of the team, in spite of the injuries, especially on the power play, is just not been anywhere near where it needs to be, especially in that game. And I understand a lot of our best players on special teams are not available. I understand that. But, a lot of sloppy passes, a lot of, just it seems as if every one of our opponents in this losing streak has simply been a step quicker, a skate further, and they simply want it more than us. And, going 0 for 4 on the power play. Conversely, allowing a costly, unassisted, shorthanded goal, man. Nick Schmaltz in the first period. Not great at all. But I mean, outside of our own shooting ourselves in the foot, the ref puck was absolutely unbelievable, man. I am a big advocate for, if you're going to call the penalty, you cannot call embellishment, because either you're going to call the penalty and say, yeah, you whacked buddy, you got him, or you're going to call embellishment and say, well, it could have been bang bang, but you really exaggerated that. You're looking like a FIFA player, man. You're flopping, bro. Come on, it can't be both. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it just can't. Like, especially on a penalty where you go to the replay and it is a clear penalty. I mean, take for instance, buddy gets hit in the face. I don't know how much you can sell getting hit in the face, because in order to sell something, it has to, not be initially, real. Like, you can fake getting hit in the face, but if you get hit in the face, you're not going to sell that. You're going to be like, ow, my face, that hurt. You can't embellish that. And, apparently, these refs are world class, and they get paid much more than I do to do their job. But, it's the human element. There's a lot of error in it. And that was clearly an error at that end of the game. And, that ended up costing us a goal. So,
I mean, there's multiple. You call embellishment twice in a matter of 10 minutes. That really hurts the Florida Panthers there. The Rodriguez one was a little bit questionable. That Kachuk one was completely a complete error on the refs. That is not even close to being embellishment. His skates were taken out from under him. You cannot call that under any circumstance.
Right.
An embellishment. You can't. At first, without in real time, I kind of get it, because even I said it looked like Kachuk might have sold that a little bit, because it looked like it looked like the stick of the Utah player was around him. It did look like he went flying. and then you actually watch the replay and you realize his skate was taken from under him. That's not you're in front of him. The referee is in front of him on that play. He doesn't even see the angle that we're seeing. You have got to call that a tripping. That changes things drastically for this game. You go 6-on-4 in the remaining last few minutes of the game. That changes things drastically for the Florida Panthers and their offense. Nothing happened. Instead, you end up going 5-on-4.
Yep.
With you go 4-on-4, pull Bob, go 5-on-4. Utah wins it, and that's it.
Yep, that ends the win streak for the Panthers. And then refs, I'm gonna give you a break on this next one because this is all on us, man. Losing at the Blues, that's really tough. Those are 2 points that we desperately needed because that night it seemed like every single person and every single team in front of us decided, hey, let's all win tonight. Let's give the Panthers no hope at all. So we really needed to win that. AJ Greer scored, Sam Reinhart power play goal, but another game where we lose by 1 goal. And in the dying seconds too, man.
That's one where, in my opinion, another one I don't want to go ahead and have to cry wolf and have to consistently go after the referees, but I feel like that's another one where I just don't feel like a penalty should have been called in the dying seconds there, like it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like a penalty. I feel like there was nothing. I don't think there was anything. I believe the player was Mikola. I don't remember who it was exactly, but I don't think there was anything he could have done there. I feel like he's pushed into I believe it was Hofer that was in that. I don't think there's anything he could have done to avoid it. I don't agree with that call, and I also don't agree with the fact that we had just minutes earlier lost Kachuk because he got into it with Hofer, while Hofer went after Kachuk, and Kachuk was just going after him as retaliation. Right. How was that nothing? Hofer is out of the lane. The puck's in the air. He's not even going after the puck. He's just going after Kachuk. And you're going to end up calling goaltender interference a couple minutes later on a play where we're getting pushed into. I just don't think there was anything you could do there. I don't agree with that call. It costs us another game, another 2 points. You need to get
regulation.
You just need to
overtime. Get
that's been a very big thing. The storyline of the season in general. We can't even it up. We can't tie it up. We can't get that last goal with our goalie pulled. Hasn't been a thing in like 3 years. The Panthers have really struggled to consistently get those those breaks with Bob out of the net and with the extra skater on. We have been really struggling the last few years. That has been put in the rearview mirror because of the fact that we're winning cups along the way. Doesn't really matter. But when you're not even winning games now in general in the regular season, then it does become a problem because you're not getting to overtime. You're not getting those extra points.
Yeah.
And you're not lasting.
They are what, 28, 23-3? Dude, 23 regulation losses and 3 overtime losses. That is soul shattering, bro. Holy. That's tough.
At a certain point, you have to get some points. And they're struggling to do that right now. And this is another one where you needed 7 seconds. You were 7 seconds away from the difference of being 4 games, needing basically 5 wins, to needing about 4 wins instead. You're that close. You couldn't do it. A bad game from Tarasov. He's been really strong this year. We spent all pod. I spent all pod last week just loving on Tarasov, and then he gets a chance and he drops it up. That's how hockey goes. That's how it goes. It's unfortunate. It happens. Tarasov didn't show up when we needed him most against a bad team in St. Louis. More importantly, St. Louis has been really struggling this year. You need to get 2 points there.
Absolutely.
You don't get any. You don't make the overtime. Bad penalty gets called. No one was doing their job, from the Panthers to the refs. Doesn't matter. It's still 0 points and another loss. You fall down to needing you fall down to about 8 points down, and then you have another one. You go back home, and you're facing Winnipeg, another team that's been really rough this year. And then it's another game where you blow late. You're up the 1-0 for the majority of the game, and then again that third period just falls down again.
E2 with a beautiful goal to take the early lead, and then oh my God, this was, Jeremy, if you did not know, this was the first time all year that the Panthers lost a game. They led after 2 periods. Before this game, they were 17-0-1 in such situations. So they had never lost a game in regulation after leading after 2 periods this year until this game. This one probably hurt me the most because you take the early lead, fine, cool. But I mean, you gave up a lot of juicy rebounds for Winnipeg. And honestly, they had a lot of chances. It could have been worse, quite honestly. But man, that's really, really tough to drop that one at home. And another game where you could at least get into overtime, but you know, it just was not in the cards. I believe that was an empty netter at the end to make it 2-1, if I make no mistake. I think so.
It was.
Yeah.
It was I remember it was a defensive misplay that I think was just a cross ice pass in front of Bob that he really had no chance on. Defensive miscue. I believe it was the Jeff Petrie defensive unit.
Speaking of Petrie,
was out there.
As of this recording, the Sabres and the Panthers are playing right now, and we just killed off a Jeff Petrie penalty. So thank you for bringing his name up.
It's getting really bad right now. The Panthers, as of right now, sit 8 points out to the current team they're playing in Buffalo. 4 games out of a playoff spot. They need 2 points tonight desperately. It has gone to the point where you're pushing the red button. We have been saying all season we gonna be all right, and things aren't all right at all now. You just lost 3 very important games in a row. So now you desperately need 2 points tonight. You have to find a way to get back on the scoring sheet. You have to find a way to get back on top, get a win in regulation, at the very least.
Yes.
And then you have to, nonetheless, you also have to find a way to go ahead and win the next 2 games after that. Next game is against Boston, another team you're chasing. And then you have your in-state rival in Tampa Bay, another nasty game. And another one you have to find a way to win. You just have to find a way to win the next 3 games. And it just keeps on getting tougher. Panthers have lost Brad Marchand again. There's no timetable for him. We don't know if he's going to be available for the playoffs. I mean, not for the playoffs, for the Olympics. Obviously, Seth Jones isn't coming back. Lundell isn't in a no-contact jersey. We've lost Lundell the last 3 games. You just now lost Sam Bennett. He was not even a no-show for that second period. Forsland got hurt in the first. He came back for the second. I guess good news, Gadjevich is coming back after the Olympics. Yay. But, I mean, you're getting a 4th liner back. He's important, but you need your stars back.
Yeah. Yep. And like you said, more importantly, they just need to find a way to win these next 3 games. And I think we're going to learn. Listen, I could give all the excuses in the world about injuries, but at some point you have to find a way to win in spite of the shortcomings and the setbacks. And we're going to learn a lot about what this team is made of. This 2025-26 Panthers team is made of in these next 3 games. Especially since 1, it's a gauntlet, and 2, you just got a little bit of help in last night's Stadium Series game. If you would like to talk about that,
yes, that'll be something that actually that'll be at least something kind of positive to talk about. Another game in Florida. We talked already about the Winter Classic and how awesome it was to be able to go to there, be out at the event, how awesome that was, and just the fact that we're getting outdoor hockey in Florida when that was looked upon as a thing that was the impossible. And the impossible was broken twice. We got the perfect weather conditions for Tampa's game.
It was actually a little less than perfect because they had to heat the ice a bit because it was too cold outside in Tampa, Florida, that they were in fear that the ice would crack. So they had to heat up the ice. That's how cold it was in Tampa. And have you ever played NHL Hits 2002? Do you remember the pirate ship rink? That is basically what the stadium series was. It was insanely cool. They had pirates escort the teams out to the sea. It was the most Gasparilla hockey game I've ever seen in my life. 11 seconds into the game, boom, Tampa goal. Was it Hagel?
Brandon Hagel, Florida's number one worst enemy. With the 11-second, the fastest goal in outdoor hockey history, 11 seconds of the game to put Tampa up 1-0. Mm-hmm. And then what followed was the next about 25 minutes of utter domination from the Boston Bruins.
Yes, the BTA, the B in BTA stands for Bruins because they gave the Lightning belt for 5 unanswered goals. Unbelievable. And then 9 minutes to go in the second period happened, and we witnessed one of the craziest comebacks in outdoor hockey game history. Lightning scored 4 goals to tie the game. They go into
overtime. I mean, the power plays galore for Tampa Bay to get them back into this one, and all of them were power penalties too. This is all Bruins just completely imploding on themselves. You keep on giving Tampa Bay a great team on this special.
Come on!
Do we?
Panthers goal.
Let's go.
Let's go. Uvis Balinskis. Tie game, baby. Finally a goal.
Slowly turning Uvis into a more than bottom pair defenseman.
But at this point, it's gonna have to be by force. At this point, we're losing so many guys. Oh my god, what a beauty! Top shelf where Mama hides the rat poison. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, what a selling
3-3. We needed that.
And it's a power play goal. His 4th goal of the season.
I mean, Uvis has been really solid recently. Besides, I mean, obviously he's less than perfect for being a power play quarterback, but we'll absolutely take it right now because Balinskis has been really solid recently. We needed him, so we'll absolutely take that.
Absolutely, I'll take anything at this point, man. Like,
we just need wins, man. We need goals. We need wins.
I posted a very provocative tweet that if this team. Naturally, as soon as I tweet it out, they score, of course, because this is what they do. This is what they do to me, Jeremy. Every time I threaten to post a thirst trap for the Panthers winning, this is what they do. And look at them. They're already trying to score again. This is insanity. This is crazy, man.
There we go. We're slowly getting the momentum back on our side, which we needed, because that first about 10 minutes of the game was pure Panthers. That was it. Just Panthers. Vilmanis goal, and then you had another one that they added on afterwards. Forget who scored that one, but you go ahead and you had a 2-0 lead, and then it was all Buffalo.
So we go to the second intermission, tied 3-3. But as we were talking about earlier, a bunch of penalties get the Lightning back in the game. They go to overtime. A lot of really good chances for both teams, but neither one could find the back of the net. And
Pastrnak actually finds the back of the net, but a penalty was called, and Pastrnak just kept on playing anyways. He just acted like he didn't hear a whistle go like 8 times.
Of course, this is prime classic pasta, man.
You flashback to 2023 round 1, game 7, when Pastrnak decided to die when he wasn't even touched.
Right. See, that's embellishment right there, refs. You just gotta learn from your history.
See, when you get hit in the chest and then grab your nose, that is what embellishment is. Mm-hmm. When you fall over yourself, when your skate is clipped by another man's skate, that isn't a dive.
Exactly.
That is an actual penalty.
You know, if in the spirit of our latest goal scorer, Uvis, if you punch me in the face and I grab my balls, am I really hurting here? No. What are we doing
So
here, man? Oh my gosh,
we
these
get
refs.
back to the Lightning game last night, the Stadium Series game. Gensel is shootout winner for the Tampa Bay Lightning to complete I believe one of the largest comebacks in outdoor game history. There was the one from a few years ago, New York versus Rangers and Islanders. That was another great game that reminded me of this one a lot from a
It
couple
did
years
remind
ago.
me of this
Another
one.
large, yeah. This was like very much reminiscent on this one, considering another very talented goalie, top of line goalie, Sturkin, giving up
Mhm.
4 or 5 goals in New York, and
That's
then
crazy.
the Rangers locking in, getting back, and winning it in overtime to take the win in the outdoor game. That one, I believe, was in New York, but
They are
last
kings
night
of
Tampa
locking
getting the
in
win.
outdoor games, as you and I saw firsthand.
Yeah, yes. The
Yeah.
Rangers are unfortunately the kings of outdoor games. Ryan
Mhm.
McDonough is now 6-0, by the way, in outdoor games. He's won 2 of them with Tampa and 4 with New York.
All they
He
have to
continues
do
to be
is
elite.
just take the roof off of MSG, and they will win the Stanley Cup. I guarantee you they'll win the league.
They are going 82-0 en route to the first ever team to ever win every single game in the playoffs and regular season.
Yes, it's just without a doubt. All they have to do is take that roof off, and you get your first Stanley Cup since '94. But oh, how did we not even mention this? How
I was
about
waiting for it.
not one goalie fight involving a Florida team? Shout out Bobby, but a second goalie fight involving a Florida team. Swayman and Big Vassy, bro. Oh my God, what a tilt!
Watching this one live. Now, this one, people will go. I saw a post earlier today already that was like, which was the better goalie fight, Nedeljkovic and Bob or Swayman and Vaz? Swayman and Vaz was absolutely the better fight. I will
Absolutely.
say the more entertaining one. This may be a little bit biased, but the more entertaining one was Bob and Nedeljkovic because of the fact that it has the factor of it being the first goalie fight in 6 years, and because we never see anymore. That I think they had the more entertaining factor because we were all shocked to see it happening. Um, and there's also the fact that Bob bull rushed after Nedeljkovic, and he had no idea that he was coming after him.
Yes.
This was Swayman. Watched this live, and I knew it was happening too because Swayman dove on top of him. And after I saw him, like Vasilevsky had to have seen that
Oh yeah.
if he was paying attention. And then I look over, and Swayman gets up, and he immediately jumps up and starts looking at like center ice for Vaz, and he starts moving immediately. And I'm like, Vasilevsky's at center ice, and we're about to get another one. And then the refs like slowly getting in the way, and you can even hear Pastrnak because he was mic'd up for it, and he was like, "Let him get, let him go, let him go, let him go, let him go." And they let him go, and Swayman, even with a stick stuck in his pad, Vasilevsky waits for him to get the stick out of his pad, probably Hagel's stick too,
Right.
and he just decides to go after. We get a great goalie fight. Both goalies get punches landed on each other. Don't remember who got the takedown, but
Vassy took down Swayman.
Vasilevsky got the takedown. I think he won that fight without doubt on that one.
He won.
However, it was a great fight. It was a great battle. Another one where it's a goalie fight and happening in the Stadium Series game. Just 2 weeks after Sergei Bobrovsky has his, which kind of leads me on to my next thing. Are the Tampa Bay Lightning just like carbon copies of the Florida Panthers, or can we have this conversation now about how the Florida Panthers and Tampa Lightning aren't just like rivals; they're just the same team? Like, I'm just saying because 2019 Tampa Lightning win the President's Trophy, get swept by Tampa. I mean, get swept by Columbus, a team that has Bob on it.
Yep.
Panthers win the President's Trophy, they get swept by Tampa. Their team has
With
Bob on it.
Vasilevsky on it.
Has Vasilevsky on it. They both teams have beat each other in back-to-back seasons en route to getting to the Cup Finals. Both teams have made the Cup Finals 3 years in a row. Both teams have won back-to-back cups. Both teams have now gone into a goalie fight, and both teams hosted a Stadium Series this year. And
Mm-hmm.
both teams gave up 5 goals to their opponents from North.
Dude, these two franchises are inseparable in their lore. It's insane. It is truly fascinating to see the splitting images of both these franchises and how similar but yet how different they are, especially in their history. It's very fun to watch, and I think everyone else in the hockey world, whether they like to admit it or not, really enjoys seeing how these two franchises fare, especially nowadays. But one thing I did want to point out regarding these outdoor games, um, I've seen a lot of talk about how the Stadium Series has recently been so much better than the Winter Classic, and they're getting so much more viewership. And you know, it's not that you need to move the Winter Classic to a northern atmosphere. I personally don't believe that. You can, but I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is it's hard to it's harder, so to speak, to get people to watch, or rather, non-hockey fans or casual fans. It's harder to get them to watch a hockey game on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, or that week of New Year's, the New Year's holiday. It's harder to get them to watch a hockey game like that when you're competing with college football bowl games and major bowl games at that. The NFL is going on with, the end of the regular season and their playoffs around that time. You have a lot of things going on. People are either hung over still from the night before, or, they have other plans and things of that nature. And the Stadium Series is placed smack dab in a perfect time frame, at least this year, of, man, it's Sunday night. There's no NFL on because we're waiting for the Super Bowl. There's no baseball on yet. There's no the only basketball games that were on were I think NBC had their Sunday night basketball package start, and it was LeBron's last game at the Garden. So maybe you'll watch that. But considering there's no king of sport NFL on, you will probably watch the Winter Classic because, hey, it's not the NFL, but it's in an NFL stadium. The Lightning players showed up wearing full creamsicle Bucks uniforms with the helmets and pads and everything. That was super cool. The Bruins,
Baker Mayfield and Tristan Wirfs from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading out. As a Buccaneers fan myself,
I know you felt like very proud of your city there.
This was the only game I was looking. I was like, I'm loving this one.
Look at them properly wearing the throwback socks the right way too.
Yes. By the way, I will go ahead and say about this one. The Bruins and the Lightning, I believe, nailed their walkouts and stuff like the Lightning rolling in on a trolley. They have coming out and led by Baker Mayfield and Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs carrying around a huge radio.
Yeah.
You got all of them wearing full pads and everything. Brandon Hagel was rocking the jersey. He had the pads out and everything, and he was even grabbing a jersey like this. He felt like he was an NFL player at the time. And the Bruins walking out in full patriotic colonial.
Oh, they
gear.
were the Patriots, but in the literal sense.
They nailed both of them, and I enjoyed this so much more than I enjoyed the Winter Classic. I'll be honest. Panthers, I didn't mind the whole Miami Vice. I get it.
Yeah, that was cool, but the Rangers
the New York Rangers did the same exact thing.
Right. Like
both teams rolled out in the same exact stuff. It was like the Seattle one was great with Seattle rolling out in their fish market year, which was so fun. I forget what Vegas came out in, but we get a lot of good walkouts. I feel like each year for the Winter Classic and stuff like this, and I feel like this year's Winter Classic was probably the least powerful out of all of them because both teams decided to roll out in Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Obviously the Panthers did it better, but
of course.
Also, the fact that Matt Rempe decided to just say and just walked out in a white beater, and that was it.
That was crazy. As someone who is a Marlins fan myself, I personally wished that they showed up in the teal, the pinstripes. That would have been super cool. Full Florida Marlins garb with the cleats and everything, some bats. Oh my goodness. I would have been just a nostalgic mess. I would have been going crazy. That would have been very cool. But hey, obviously we did the Miami Vice theme better. They look like tourists who are visiting. The Rangers look like tourists who are visiting Little Havana for the first time ever. Like they had just found Domino Park by mistake and said, "Yo, I want what that 80-year-old man playing dominoes is wearing," and they went and got that. So, hey, but I will say the Bucks. Oh, geez, I'm calling them the Bucks already. The Lightning and the Bruins did it right, and they did it justice. And not only did they do that justice, but the game was done justice. I'm pretty sure I
Yes.
got a few texts from my coworkers who do not watch hockey at all, who were saying, "Yo, are you watching this stadium series game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're playing in the football stadium." I'm like, "Whoa, I didn't know they play hockey outdoors." I'm like, "Well, that's a thing, just not in Tampa Bay, but it's special."
It was special, and the game ended special as well. One of the best outdoor games you'll see ever, in my opinion. It started perfectly, ended perfectly. I wouldn't have wanted the Stadium Series to go any other way. So,
Mhm.
as you were saying too, it was positioned directly in the middle of a time where you have no events scheduled at all for that weekend. So, I mean, that was a great time to host it. Weather worked out almost perfectly with how cold it was. So, the ice was definitely never going to melt. In fact, it needed to get melted.
Yeah,
But
and I was gonna ask, Jeremy, did you guys get any flurries in Tampa? Any snow at all?
Tampa did actually get snowed. I'm not in Tampa, but it did actually snow in Tampa. I was seeing parts of Tampa that did get snow. I will be honest. My school even tweeted out saying, "Be careful, be on the lookout for flurries potentially to break early in the morning." So I will be honest. I did wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I did sit outside for about a half hour with plenty of hoodie on to make sure I was still freezing cold, but
Oh
to
yeah.
make sure to see if I could see anything. There was unfortunately no flurries in my area. We were really hoping to see something in Southwest Florida. We did not get any snow, unfortunately, but one could dream, one could hope.
Well, here in Atlanta, we got absolutely blasted.
Yeah, I
There
heard that.
were there. You probably seen the picture of me at a Burlington coat factory where there's just snow all
Yes,
over the ground.
yes.
That spot there got about 2 inches, but it was so powdery that you couldn't even make a snowball out of it. I mean, it was swirling all over the roads, but uh, places like Athens, where the Georgia Bulldogs play, where the University of Georgia is, they got like 6 to 8 inches of snow. They got absolutely just covered in snow. It looked like a white Christmas out there. And they were sledding down hills and throwing snowballs if they could form them. It was so cool to watch. Very, very cool. And it actually reminded me of a few years ago when I went to Nashville and got caught in a mini blizzard out there. I mean, they got like probably about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet of snow in Nashville, Tennessee. Just unbelievable. It was very, very cool. And maybe hopefully one day you guys, over at your school, you guys get some snow flurries, because the fact that you could wake up in like Tampa or Orlando or Lakeland this weekend, and at some point in time it was colder there than in Juneau, Alaska, is absolutely wild. Now, colder by like a degree or two, but still, it's colder in Florida than Alaska. That's unbelievable.
I mean, it was really weird. What this is another one too. This is really weird. I don't like how we're just talking about the weather right now, but it was really. I do find it quite the phenomenon. The fact that the last 2 years it had gone to the point that with it snowing the last 2 years as well in Florida, that like, oh, I'm hearing snow in Florida. I'm just like, oh, it's snowing in Florida again. Okay. And like that's now a normal thing where like snow is casually reaching Florida and people are now like starting to be like, oh, that's normal, I guess. That's not normal, but the last 2 years it's become a thing, and now it's like, oh, okay. I wonder if it'll hit us this year. Well, that's not normal at all. But
It's
now we're
getting
acting like
closer
it
and
is.
closer every year, man. Who knows? Maybe this next
Next year's
winter
the
is the
year.
time.
Next year's the year. It'll be flurries, and then in 2 years we'll get like an inch.
Right. I mean, just the flurries. I know you guys will be going crazy because I want to say the last time Miami got like flurries was in the 70s, and my dad was a little kid, and he still has the newspaper clipping from the Miami Herald back then. Flurries in Miami, like people writing the date on the windshield, on the back windshield of their car, like in the snow. It's just unbelievable to see that. Like he showed his newspaper
I was
clipping.
up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I went over my balcony. I jumped my balcony to go ahead and be on the street so I could go. I'm like, please tell me there's any snow. And I was waiting. I texted my friend and said, if there are flurries, I will be dancing in them. We got no flurries, unfortunately.
Hey, that's why
But
you got to come up here because this past weekend was the second weekend in a row we got at least flurries. Second weekend in a row, and who knows? They apparently supposed to get a little warmer, but they're saying we still might get another batch of flurries at least, maybe on that last winter push because here we do have false winters and false summers and false springs, false falls. And then it either goes right back to cold or right back to blazing hot. So, our weather here is a little bipolar, but we love it. It's
well,
Atlanta.
hopefully, one thing that does get blazing hot is our Florida Panthers.
That
That's what we're
I will
hoping
be
for right now.
hoping and praying for because we need to get blazing hot as this third period is set to have the puck dropped upon it in a little bit. One more thing before we head out of here. How about the arena for the Winter Olympic Games? It is almost complete. It looks good. I can't lie. It looks good.
It does look a little bit weird. I think it'll take some getting used to. It does look a little bit smaller than usual. I think one
Well,
side might look a little bit bigger.
remember we're the ones that built this, Jeremy. So guys, we're not professionals,
It's
but
perfect.
we made sure that it was done on time, on schedule, because we need best on best hockey. So
There is
forgive us
absolutely
if we
nothing
don't
wrong with
have
it.
an upper deck for like 3/4 of the arena.
Yeah, that's actually part of the design. It's actually part of the design. We want it to look as great as possible because we wanted people to get in there and say, this is a hockey stadium?
Mm-hmm.
You want people to walk in there and question why they're there in the first place. And we are doing a
Exactly.
massive job at that because, I mean, this is looking absolutely amazing of a rink that
Right.
we designed with absolutely no experience in the past at all either.
Modern design, man. I tell you, it's unbelievable.
Let two Floridians who
Unbelievable.
have never played hockey in their lives to go ahead and decide to go ahead and build a hockey rink.
Mm-hmm. This is what we do. This is what we do. But yeah, everything was good. The Winter Olympics, or at least the hockey events, start on the 11th, if I make no mistake. The Winter Olympic Games, the opening ceremonies are on this Friday, the 6th, which means we will have Olympic Games going on during the Super Bowl, which is very crazy. But hey, I mean, this is just part of the absolutely wacky and crazy sports year of 2026 that we're about to have. And hey, hopefully the year is as good as I'm hoping the Panthers will be this year, as I just now see that we are on another penalty kill. Fantastic. Please stop them. Please. But all right, Jeremy, do you have anything else for the lovely audience?
I'm so sorry to those who are becoming Panther fans because of us. This is not our problem. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, if we could help it, we would just have them win all 82 games. So,
If
but
it was
we're
my
just not
doing,
taking the
we
goat.
would. if it was my doing, I would have him win the Cup every single year in a row. I would never have my beloved Barkov get hurt.
I'm still offering my ACL if he wants it. I don't need it.
If he wants to come back for the last 20 games of the season, sure. My back's already pretty bad, so if anyone else wants that either, I don't really care. They can take that too. Whoever needs it. Can they get an ACL in the back? I don't know.
I mean, at this point, it might help. I mean, we need to just try anything at this point. The Panthers need to try anything to get some points in these next 3 games. Good save. Let's go. See, that's what we need, Panthers. We need some good saves here. Kill this penalty off and let's put a puck in the net. But all right. With that out the way, let's go ahead and watch this third period, Jeremy, and let's hope and pray that this ends well for us. I don't want to come back on the next episode and have 3 losses. So let's knock on wood. Let's go get 3 wins. Let's go. But thank y'all so much for watching Rat Trick Report. For Jeremy and myself, we really appreciate you for tuning in. We appreciate you for rocking with us all throughout the season and in advance throughout the rest of the season. Shout out our producer, Joel, our lovely producer, Joel. Shout out the Heat versus the World Network. Please go find them on Twitter and Instagram. They make really good content. And if you do enjoy the Miami Heat and the NBA, watch them as well. They're fantastic. But for everybody involved in Rat Trick Report and my great co-host Jeremy, I'm Justin saying, go Cats. And I brought one this week. Throw Rats. Woo! Let's go.